Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but now I'm back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today's video is going to be all about my favorite houseplants for the month of March. I just gathered together just a few plants, probably about 5 today, that I have just been really excited about and just loving for the month of March. So let's just get into it. The first plant I'm going to be talking about today is my Philodendron gloriosum. So this plant is a plant that I've talked about in previous videos. It is an import I got from Ecuador. It's absolutely one of my favorite philodendrons, and I'm just really excited about this one's growth. So this is an import leaf. As you can see, it's starting to like die. So yeah, this one is definitely gonna go soon, but that's all right because it put out this leaf pretty recently, maybe like a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago, which I absolutely adore. It is a little bit on the smaller side, but I love it, and I love the venation, the striking venation down the middle, and the dark green sides. It is starting to yellow a little, I think, as you can see, but I think it's gonna hold on for me for a little while longer, so that's great. So this is a brand new leaf, and it actually just unfurled for me a few days ago. So it's so gorgeous. I love it, and I love that it's really big as well. It actually just kind of makes me excited because these two leaves are obviously a little small, like they're on the smaller side, and the fact that this one is really getting bigger, like this one is a lot bigger than these, makes me excited, makes me think that perhaps future leaves will just continue to be bigger and bigger, which would be awesome, because when I first got this plant I was, you know, just a little disappointed that the leaves were kind of small. Like, I'm used to seeing really big gloriosums. Like, I really want one of those ones, so I'm kind of hoping this one will just become a big one day if I'm patient enough and I give it the right conditions. This one is living in my EXO greenhouse, so I would say it has the right conditions. So down here you can see that there is a new leaf emerging, which is so insane because I literally just got this leaf and now it's already pushing out another, so that's really awesome. I really think that the conditions that I'm giving this plant are really amazing, and the plant really likes it. I just want to quickly show you what the roots look like. So starting from the bottom here, we see that the roots are actually popping out of the bottom of the pot. So that's awesome. I obviously have to get this repotted into a larger pot, so that's gonna happen soon. Also, I want to point out the root system. If you can see that, it's going crazy in this pot. Absolutely loving this mix that I have it in, and I can link the mix below. I actually got it online from Etsy pre-made, and this plant is just loving it, honestly. It's got some more aerial root action going on in here. So I've just got to get this repotted, and I have to get these aerial roots covered as well as these roots nice and covered as well. So yeah, that is my Philodendron gloriosum. She is doing so well. I'm really enjoying her environment, and I'm really enjoying this plant as well. So the next plant I want to talk about is the Anthurium warocqueanum. So as you can see, this is a 1-leaf plant right now. This plant used to be 2 leaves when I originally imported it from Ecuador, but unfortunately those 2 import leaves did not last. But it did give me this gorgeous leaf, as you can see. She's a little bit on the smaller side compared to what you might expect a warrock to look like, but she's just juvenile at this point. You know, she's trying to regain her size and regain all of that energy. And so until then, you know, she's gonna be small. She's a little small girl right now. So she's just in this really chunky mix, the same mix that I have my gloriosum in. She's not pushing out any new leaves yet, so, you know, one can only hope that she will soon, especially now that spring is right around the corner. I absolutely adore the Queen Anthurium for so many reasons. Obviously, because it looks gorgeous. The leaves are so velvety, and it obviously has that really striking venation down the center, as well as these more milder venations along the sides. It just looks like a work of art. It's just so beautiful to me. I love the way that the sinuses are shaped. I just love the look of the leaf in general. So that is the Queen Anthurium. One of my favorite anthuriums, hands down. All right, the next plant I want to talk about is another anthurium. So this is the Anthurium forgetii. It is the white striped version. As you can see, this specific forgetii has such striking silver venation. The regular forgetii do not have this silver venation. They have more of a faint venation, if any venation, I believe, at all. But this is strikingly beautiful. I absolutely love that this has such a contrasting color scheme. As you can see, it's darker in certain sections and it's obviously silver in others. What I also love is that it kind of reminds me of a turtle. I don't know, kind of reminds me of a turtle back, just the way that it's shaped. Obviously forgetii are known for their closed sinuses and they are just circular all the way around, or oval if you will. But I just love that this plant has been so resilient. It lost all of its import leaves, and at one point it was kind of going down the hill as far as its health. It just wasn't pushing out any new leaves, and it wasn't liking its environment. Even though I had it in my exo, it wasn't liking anything about my environment at all. So I was just getting a little upset. I ended up just cutting it all completely back, because even some of the newer leaves it was starting to push out were starting to look sickly and unhealthy, and I don't know, I just decided to cut it completely back. You can see over here where I made the cut. So yeah, I just made the executive decision to give it a chop, and this is what it put out for me. So I'm really excited about this. As you can see, it's starting to regain its health. It had quite the root system, although you can't really see any of the roots popping out right now. But because of that, I have it in the 6-inch pot. It really does have a nice root system. It just for some reason wasn't pushing out healthy looking leaves. So I don't know, I will figure out whatever else needs to be done for this plant. But for right now, I'm loving her look. I'm loving this leaf. She's super healthy and she's super happy, and that's all that matters. And that is why she's on the list for today. Okay, so the next plant I want to talk to you guys today about is a plant that I've definitely talked about in a previous video. I had a whole video dedicated to it. This is the Philodendron Strawberry Shake. This one is one of my absolute all-time favorite plants. It is a wish list plant. And it's doing quite well. So I just also wanted to give you an update from the last video that I featured this plant in. It's doing great. It pushed out this leaf right here. She has not completely hardened off yet, as you can see. She also doesn't really have a whole lot of variegation on this leaf, but I feel like eventually as it starts to mature, it might push out more variegation. I honestly, I don't know. I'm not like super familiar with this plant. I have owned this plant in the past, but I only owned it for like a few weeks and then I had to get rid of it. So I don't really know a whole lot about the behavioral pattern of the Philodendron Strawberry Shake. If you guys know, feel free to mention that in the comments. I don't know. This is another favorite leaf of mine on this plant. I don't know if you can really tell, it's starting to give me a little bit of red variegation, which is awesome. I've seen such gorgeous strawberry shakes online where they are red and yellow and cream and just a whole bunch of like rainbow of colors, and it's so gorgeous. And I know this plant, once it starts to really beef up, I know this plant, I just in my heart I know it's gonna get better and better as time goes on. In one of my videos where I featured this plant, I showed you guys that I created a moss pole for this, and as you can see the moss pole is dry so I have to get this one watered. I'm gonna do a whole bunch of plant stuff today. Okay, it's really hard to see, but it has attached an aerial root to the moss pole, which is great. So that means, well, I don't know if it's certain, but hopefully that means that newer leaves, as the plant's aerial roots start to attach, the newer and newer leaves are going to become bigger and bigger. That's the hope. I don't know, but I hope, and I have a lot of hope in me, so we'll see. Another gorgeous leaf. I just love this plant. It is doing absolutely well. It is a stunner, and I am excited for it to keep on growing for me. So yes, that's the Strawberry Shake. Okay, the very last plant I'm going to show you is another anthurium. It's not in the best shape right now, and that's mainly because I've neglected it just a bit, but it's still hands down one of my favorite plants right now. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you anyway. So we have the Anthurium pallidiflorum. So this is the Anthurium pallidiflorum. This is one of the import leaves that it came with, and I don't know if you can tell, but it is starting to yellow a little bit, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. It's an import leaf. I will let it go. It pushed out a few of these smaller leaves afterward, which is kind of concerning, or was kind of concerning at the time. And then it pushed this one out, and then it pushed this one out. So this leaf came out a little bit wonky. I'm not really sure what's going on. The plant is healthy by my assessment, so I don't really understand why that leaf came out that way, but the plant is doing fine, you know. It is what it is. Oh, and looks like it actually is pushing out a new leaf right there, so that's exciting as well. Yeah, this one has been a trooper outside of this leaf yellowing on me. It really has been a trooper. It hasn't really been picky. I kind of give it whatever lighting I feel like. It does sit outside of my exo, and it sits right by my window, so it does get ample light, which I know anthuriums don't love a ton of light, but if you do give it a good enough amount of light, it will do pretty well for you, and it will stay nice and healthy outside of this yellow leaf. All right guys, that is all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to give it a like, and if you are interested in more planty content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.